Tonight on CTV, we talk to teachers struggling to make ends meet.
And see why the mayor was under investigation by city council.
And meet a professor who's running for office.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Edgar Cedillo.
And I'm Matt Leisman.
The annual Take Back the Night event returned to CSU to conclude Sexual Assault Awareness Month. The night was coordinated by the Women and Gender Advocacy Center and the Campus Feminist Alliance. Collegian reporter Raven Coulier went to the event and talked to the Assistant Director of Victim Services.
Survivors often think that they are the only ones, that they're the only ones who have experienced this, that no one else would understand what they've gone through. It's really helpful to heal in community, and so creating a space where people can see that we can all heal and share and love together is incredibly powerful.
Attendees marched from campus to the Old Town Plaza, where they listened to a keynote speaker, Emma Solkovich, a former Columbia University student famed for their art project at Mattress Performance.
Nearly 41% of Colorado State's almost 2,000 employees are non-tenure track faculty, or NTTF. These faculty members are often tasked with teaching lower-level courses, sometimes with more than 100 students. Despite this, NTTF earn much less than their tenured counterparts. However, recently, a movement has started to change this.
According to RateMyProfessors.com, Denise Apodaca is the most popular professor at Colorado State by a wide margin. But long hours, low pay, and extra jobs to cover the gap have left her missing her family.
Many times I've thought about leaving. I love my students and I love what I do. You know, I think I was born to be a teacher. I don't know what else I would do if I wouldn't be teaching. But it's crossed my mind many times, you know, of thinking if I got a full-time job somewhere else, at least maybe I could spend more time with my kids.
Apodaca is just one of many non-tenure track faculty at CSU struggling to make ends meet. How much does she make? Let's break it down.
NTTF make approximately $5,000 per class, with an average of 4 classes per semester, plus a $1,600 stipend. That comes out to just under $22,000 per semester and $44,000 a year. Now, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the cost of living in Fort Collins is around $60,000. That means NTTF at CSU are paid roughly 33% less than the cost of living in Fort Collins. Recently, Professor Dan Stephen and the Council for Non-Tenure Track Faculty put out a petition titled Fair Pay for NTTF. The petition seeks to establish a minimum salary of $52,000 per year for full-time NTT faculty. CSU currently employs almost 800 NTTF members. If each of them were to see a raise to $52,000 a year, it would cost the university nearly $8 million. The petition claims this could be done without raising student tuition. Student body president Tristan Siren signed the petition, but he says moving the money is not that simple.
I think you can do almost everything without raising tuition, but that means you're not doing something else.
Students and faculty of CSU now look to incoming President Joyce McConnell, who has a history of promoting gender equity and raising faculty salaries. Professor Apodaca is hoping she'll be able to catch a break.
Maybe I can have a little bit of quality of life and also just a cost of living bump, you know, to make it not so hard.
Dan Stephen, who started the petition, says it has brought new faces and energy to the movement for equity, and they are ready to fight as long as necessary. Director of Public Affairs and Communications for CSU, Mike Hooker, says CSU is continually assessing the quality of life for all of our faculty and staff. The escalating cost of living in our community provides significant ongoing challenges that we are still evaluating while also taking tangible steps forward.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife Services closed their investigation on CSU professor Gregory Evil. They issued a citation for the illegal possession of wildlife on April 28th, which cost a grand total of $208. PETA also filed a complaint with CPW against Evil in the fall of 2018. They received a tip that Evil was keeping wild crows in his laboratory. Now, press release area wildlife manager Ty Petersburg says, upon investigation, this case appears to be one of an administrative oversight, not of an intentional violation. Evil's research concerned understanding how viruses like West Nile emerge and spread.
An ethics review board decided Mayor Wade Troxell is not guilty last week. The Coloradoan reported a panel of Fort Collins City Council members didn't find any potential ethical breaches while investigating allegations that Troxell acted improperly while seeking the city police union's endorsement for re-election. The Fraternal Order of Police accused Troxell of threatening Officer Chris Wren's employment if the local lodge didn't endorse his re-election bid. The board looked at 2 possible violations to city code. Did Troxell use his position to ask for special treatment? And did Troxell have improper contact with the city employee without disclosing the contact? But the heart of the question was whether Mayor Troxell was acting as candidate Troxell, whether Wren was acting as a city employee or lodge president, and whether the men's dual roles could be separated. The board determined they could.
Michaela Surratt, the CSU student whose arrest outside Bondi Beach Bar in 2017 was captured on video and went viral, is appealing her conviction and suing the Fort Collins police officer for alleged excessive force. Surratt was sentenced to 1 year supervised probation in October after a jury found her guilty of misdemeanor obstructing a police officer and resisting arrest. The now viral clip shows Officer Randall Klassmer forcing Surratt to the ground outside the bar. The lawsuit filed on March 26 alleges that Klassmer violated Surratt's constitutional protection against unreasonable search and seizure.
Have you ever been to a marijuana dispensary? Ever wonder why they check your ID so many times or tell you not to be on your phone? Reporter Bela Roberts has all the answers.
Marijuana may be legal in the state of Colorado, but it is not federally legal, which alludes to many regulations and precautions.
We usually, when you go out of the waiting room and you go onto the sales floor, we do have chains that state that this is a no-access area, that you can't go beyond that, and by law we have to have those chains up.
Colorado cannabis companies are currently never allowed to advertise out of state.
We have one at the desk where we scan your ID, and we use a technology that links right up with all the DMVs in the country. And then once you are cleared there, you'll wait, and then a bud tender will come to the door and they'll say who's next, and then they have to give their ID to the bud tender, and the bud tender will hold on to it and check its authenticity.
A dispensary cannot be located within 1,000 feet of a school.
Keeping product out of the hands of minors, which is like the ultimate goal of the waiting room, and not having people have visual access to products who walk into the store. You do have to separate, that's why we had curtains up over there. You do have to separate those sides. Medical patients have confidentiality. The HIPAA laws apply to them. So if you have that med card and you are being served on the med side, confidentiality has to be in place.
According to marijuanadoctors.com, 2 questions must be asked when deciding if HIPAA applies. Is it protected health information, and is the entity storing or transmitting the information a covered entity?
For more information on marijuana dispensary laws, you can visit colorado.gov.
The race for president isn't the only one filling up. Here in Colorado, there are 11 Democrats so far running against Republican Senator Cory Gardner. I spoke with the CSU professor who joined the race last week.
The 2020 elections are already heating up in Colorado, with more than 10 Democratic candidates already announcing their race, including Ellen Berns, a current CSU professor. She is running against Republican Senator Cory Gardner in what is expected to be the most watched race of 2020.
We need to win 2 seats as Democrats in order to have control in the Senate, and that's our goal.
Berns is running on a platform that focuses on affordability, emphasizing housing, healthcare, and education.
It's important to have access to education, both K through 12 and college level. And student loans are one of the biggest issues facing young people these days.
Berns is using her background in environmental work to tackle the issue of climate change.
Put a price on carbon and use that to fund the training. Use that to fund the research, both in the public sector, like the great work going on here at CSU, and also in the private sector.
Berns also spoke about the possibility of bringing the first female senator to lead Colorado.
Until we have women in these seats, we're not going to change this access. We're not even going to bring voice to things that need to be done.
Berns is ready to make her case to Colorado voters as to why she is better suited to represent the state in Washington.
I think this responsibility side, both from a social perspective, a constituent sense of responsibility, and the financial side. I can be very clear that I disagree with his decisions of, national emergencies and need to build a wall. I absolutely disagree with that.
As Democrats hope to regain control of the U.S. Senate, that could very well come down to this Senate race here at home.
Governor Jared Polis announced earlier today that Colorado will hold its presidential primary on Super Tuesday, which will fall on March 3rd of 2020. But that won't have an effect on the Senate primaries. That primary race will still be held in June. So, before we go, it's your last show, so you're about to graduate, so tell us how you're feeling.
I am so bummed to be leaving CTV behind. I've been at CSU for 4 years, but it really only feels like college started last year for me when I joined CTV. Before that, I was just kind of wandering around, had no idea what I was doing, and I don't know, CTV has given me a wealth of amazing friends and a new career in life, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
Well, it's been awesome anchoring with you this past semester, so we're surely going to miss you here at CTV, and we wish you all the best of luck. So.
Thank you.
That's all we have tonight. Good night, Rams.